Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to be talking all about my fall TBR, which I am so excited. If you don't know already, fall is my favorite time of year. I'm sure most of you, if you've watched my videos, you have caught on to that because I can't stop talking about how excited I am for this upcoming fall season, as well as just books that I'm looking forward to reading this fall. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I live in Texas and I don't personally get to see fall that much, but I just love the aesthetic of fall where the leaves are changing colors, you can wear fun sweaters, and you're just cozy. I also think it's because, for me personally, I don't sweat as much in the fall. Summertime, it's hot here in Texas and I'm just over sweating. So I'm really excited for fall. When I'm filming this, it's September already. So I am very, very eager, embracing the fall vibes as we speak. So I wanted to make this video though to talk about all the books that I'm hoping to get to this fall, and let's just dive right in. So the books that I'm gonna share in this video are just some priority books that I'm hoping to get to this fall, and they're priority because I have a physical copy and I just want to make sure that I'm doing a good job at reading my physical TBR. So these books are the ones that I'm really hoping to get to. That's not to say that I won't be reading books off of this list. You know, I'm a big mood reader, so we'll see what happens, we'll see what catches my eye, but let's dive right in. So there are two books that I'm hoping to reread this fall. The first one being Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. This is actually a reread for me, and we're reading it for book club for September in preparation for Lynn Painter's new book, which is a sequel to Better Than the Movies called Nothing Like the Movies. And so I'm doing the reread right now in September in order to read the next book in this sequel in October. I'm very nervous, if I'm being honest, on the sequel book. I don't know why, but sometimes you just don't need a sequel. I think Lynn will do it justice, and I think, you know, she wouldn't write a book unless she has a story to tell. But with all that said, I'm kind of going in cautiously. I'm lowering expectations just a little bit so that I'm not disappointed, but I will be rereading Better Than the Movies. I'm actually doing it for book club, like I said, so really excited to get to that one. And then the next book that I'd like to reread is The Ex-Hex, and I read this I think a year or two ago, and it's honestly just a perfect witchy romance book. And I figured it'd be fun to do a reread in October. I know there are other books, I think, in this universe. I honestly don't care to read them. I liked it, I didn't love it, so that's why I'm not going to explore the other books in this world. But The Ex-Hex is basically revolving around these witches, and one of our main female character, she accidentally places a little love spell on her arch nemesis, and then they have to work to break it. And of course, obviously, they fall in love. So it's a very spooky, witchy romance. It's silly and it's fun. So I thought it'd be perfect to reread for the month of October. So those are the two rereads that I'm really hoping to get to, as well as a new release that's coming out in October. So those are three books that I'm really hoping to get to. Now on to my physical TBR. So first book on top is the Assassin's Blade / Throne of Glass series. I was actually hoping to get to this in summertime. It was on my summer TBR, but I just didn't get to it. I really do think that this is a fall series, so that's kind of why I held off on reading it. So I will be starting with Assassin's Blade, and I know that's a controversial thing, but if this is a prequel of sorts, in my opinion, it makes sense to start with this. So this is the one I'll be starting with, and then I'll go to Throne of Glass next. But this is top on my TBR. Like, I'm really hoping to get to this within the next month or so, because one, I hear so much hype about this series and this franchise from Sarah J Maas. If anything, it's people's favorite books from her. So I think it's about time that I understand what the hype is all about. So this is very, very urgent, top priority read for me. And then the next book that is on my TBR is 20 Years Later. I did include this in my summer TBR as well. And again, this cover screams fall, and I just couldn't read it in the summer. So this is also top priority for me to read within fall. If anything, I think I might read it within a week or so, just because I just think it's time. I'm craving a good thriller, and I can't wait to read this. Also, if you hear my cat in the background, I'm so sorry. She's wanting to play right now. So anyways, this is top on the TBR. It's a nice thriller book. I know nothing about it other than that my best friend recommended this to me, and we have the same taste in thrillers, and she gave it a 5 stars. So I'm very, very eager to get to this book. Next book on my TBR is Firefly Lane from Kristen Hanna. I was hoping to get to this in August, but it just didn't work out. I started reading The Infernal Devices, so my time's been a little consumed with that, but I'm really hoping to get to this one at least within September, just because I feel like if I wait any longer, it might not work as well atmosphere-wise. So top of my TBR, I don't really know much about this book other than that people love Kristen Hanna's writing. This would be my first book from this author, and I'm very eager to see what all the hype is about. My mom has watched the Netflix show, and I just need to know what goes on. So this is the next book on my TBR that I hope to get to. The next book that I'm going to be talking about is Midnight is the Darkest Hour from Ashley Winstead. Ashley Winstead's one of my favorite authors ever, and I'm trying to catch up on all of her other books that she has published. I believe this is the third thriller that she has published, and if you didn't see the news, as of filming this, she is releasing a new thriller book in 2025, so even more reason to get caught up on her list. Basically, this unsuspected duo, I think the preacher's daughter and then the outcast in town, come together to try and solve a murder that is like plaguing the town. People think that there is like a serial killer loose or like haunting this town, and they try to solve this current murder situation. So that's all that I know about it, but I've heard great things, and I personally love Ashley's writing, so I'm very excited to get to this, and I will probably do a little reading vlog maybe of it, I don't know, but also can we talk about the cover? She's stunning. This has also been on my TBR since Christmas of last year, so I really have to get to it. And then lastly, the book on my physical TBR that I'm hoping to get to is this chunky book, The Will of the Many. She is thick, so this will definitely be a book that I probably read as we get closer to winter, like that transitional time. But I am very excited to read this one. I'm also ecstatic that I bought this copy of the book, because if you haven't heard the news with this book, they have decided to change the cover art for this first one and all the rest of the books moving forward, and it's just not for me. I don't think they're that cute, and I'm very content with this design. So if I like this book and I want to continue reading it, I'll probably just pick up the digital copy moving forward. But this is basically, how do I describe this book? From what I've gathered from people's reviews is that it is a like fantasy / dystopian world. There's different levels of hierarchy amongst society, and our main character has to infiltrate this academic academy type of school and rise in the ranks there to try and solve a murder / uncover secrets that could possibly undermine the current setup of their society. And so it kind of gives off a lot of plotting and scheming and strategizing and making sure you have the right alliances with certain people. So that sounds like right up my alley, because when I read about like fantasy books and they talk about the strategy, not necessarily the actual fighting, but like the strategy and the alliances need to be made, and how you like make sure you're politically speaking to everyone correctly, or like how do you go about certain situations, that part always fascinates me. And a book that comes to mind that kind of dives into that is the Cruel Prince trilogy. Particularly, I think the second book, that book really dives in on like the strategizing of a leader, and I feel like this book might have some of that as well. So I'm very eager to see what this is about, because like I've mentioned before in the past when I have talked about this book, literally nothing but amazing things has been said about it. So I feel like I need to know now what the hype is about, but she is a thick book. I think it's almost 700 pages long, so pray for me when I do decide to read this. I'll probably also make this a reading vlog as well if you guys are interested in that. Alrighty guys, that's gonna be it for today's video, kind of on the shorter side, but these are all the books that I'm prioritizing this fall. Again, like I said, it doesn't mean that I won't be reading anything else. These are just books on my physical TBR that I'm really hoping to get to and get off of my physical TBR to make room for other books that I can buy. If you've read any of these books, let me know down below your thoughts of them, or if you're reading anything fun this fall or have any books that you're looking forward to, maybe some new releases, definitely let me know down below. I love to hear what everyone's excited about and what we're all looking forward to reading. But again, like I say in every video, I'm also looking for book recommendations constantly, so definitely leave some comments down below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you'll stay up to date on when my next video is posted, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye guys.